Hey everyone, Sharice here. I just wanted to share something real quick. So just finished reading the story of Dinah, Jacob's daughter with Leah, and it really bothered me. Now I've read this story many times before, but I, how you can read the Bible and you're in a different season of your life. And in this case, as I read it, I was just disturbed on a lot of different levels, being a mother, um, looking at it from a modern perspective. It just really, really disturbed me, really. So, as the story goes, Jacob had just left his father in law, Laban's house, and he's settling in a new land. And his daughter Dinah goes out to visit the women of the village. And as she's doing that, she is violated by a young man who has a position of authority. Once Jacob finds out about this, he says nothing, he does nothing. He waits for his sons to come in from the field. His lack of response, his passiveness makes me wonder if that's what fueled his son's anger even more so, because they refer to Dinah as our sister, not your daughter, if you notice. And their anger is fueled and they avenge their sister's violation by killing all of the men in the village while they were healing from circumcision. And if you're not familiar with the story, go ahead and read it. It's in Genesis chapter 34. Ironically, nothing mentions this verse, or this chapter rather, never mentions the name of the Lord. This whole chapter 34. They were using their own wisdom. They were using their own feelings. It just is a very, very tough chapter to read. I also don't condone the violence, but it just shows how this family is very dysfunctional in a sense that it's clear that Jacob favored his sons Benjamin and Joseph from Rachel, compared to his sons from Leah, who gave him more children. And when Joseph was presumed dead, he tore his clothes. He was sad. He was depressed. He didn't want to let Benjamin go because he didn't want to lose him. Like, it was just a very stark contrast to how he reacted with Dinah. But it also reminded me of how Jesus, when he came and he was our Messiah and he was teaching, his teachings was so radical and different. He didn't look at women as property. He didn't look at them as less than, inferior. He treated them with humanity. He spoke to women in public. He treated them with compassion as people, as God's creation as well. And that's the thing that I loved, because Jesus' ministry was so different. And that's what the Pharisees hated about him. And so as we read the Bible, we can see the contrast of how women were treated in ancient Israel to how Jesus came and changed the messaging. And of course, I always say when I'm teaching the Bible study, we have to observe. We can't read the Bible with our 21st century mind, but we can interpret from it. And at that time, women were treated different. They were treated less than. They had no value. They were property. It just, they went from being covered by their father to being covered by their husband. And if the husband died and they didn't have any money, then it was a really, really hard situation for them. But I thank God for the freedom that he has given us. I thank God for the perspective that Jesus gave us. I thank God that Jesus shows us how to act and everything. And of course, I'm not coming down hard on Jacob, because all of us have our own things. We all have stuff in our families. We all have something that we're dealing with. We may not be passive, but we may have anger issues or act rash, such as Levi and his brothers. But thank God for his wisdom and showing us how we should act, how we should behave. Someone said long time ago, and you may have heard this, that Bible stands for basic instructions before leaving earth. And so I just encourage us to take advantage to read the Bible and study it, and then ask God, how do you want me to see this or react to this? Um, and just pray for his divine guidance and thank him for his wisdom that stands throughout time. All right, I hope you have a blessed day.